How do you measure the desire to become champion with the desire to remain a champion? Find out when Nikita Koloff attempts to prove his desire is stronger against Nature Boy Ric Flair as they battle for the NWA World Title in a 2 out of 3 falls match. World Tag Team Champions Lex Luger and Barry Windham defend their titles against Horsemen members Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson in the first ever Tag Team First Blood Elimination match. The only way to win is to make both members of the opposing team bleed. Dusty Rhodes will look for a measure of revenge from the heinous 3-on-1 attack in Baltimore from the Varsity Club as he battles Games Master Kevin Sullivan in an anything-goes, no-holds-barred bunkhouse match. Sting looks to add gold to his waist as he challenges Larry Zbyszko for the NWA Western States Championship. All this, plus the Rock and Roll Express, Al Perez, and much more on Clash of the Champions.
And wrestling fans, our opening contest here at Clash of the Champions will be an NWA World Television Championship match between defending champion, the Latin heartthrob Al Perez, and newcomer Flyin Brian Pillman. And this with TV title match time limit of 10 minutes. So Flyin Brian Pillman has his work cut out for him. We don't know much about him. He just arrived on the scene a few weeks ago here in the National Wrestling Alliance. But the championship committee definitely saw something in him that garnered him a world television title match here at the Clash of Champions. And we thank you for joining us tonight. And making his way to the ring, there he is, Flyin Brian Pillman, ladies and gentlemen, with a huge opportunity here tonight to get some championship gold around his waist. But in order to do that, he will need to go through the Latin heartthrob Al Perez. And when you wrestle Al Perez, you're not just wrestling Al Perez. You have to keep your eye on his manager, Playboy Gary Hart. And here they are now making their way to the ring. The current NWA World Television Champion, Al Perez. And Gary Hart not far behind. And fans, this should be a good one. We have so many title matches here this evening. Sting is challenging Larry Zbyszko for the Western States Heritage Championship. We have the United States Tag Team titles as the Midnight Express defends against the Rock and Roll Express. We have the World Tag Team Championship as Lex Luger and Barry Windham defend against Horsemen members Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. We have that big no-holds-barred match between the American Dream Dusty Rhodes and the Games Master Kevin Sullivan. And of course, the big one, our main event of the evening, of course, Nature Boy Ric Flair defends the NWA World Title against the Russian Nightmare Nikita Koloff in a 2 out of 3 falls match. So fans, we're about to get set here in our opening contest, the NWA TV title on the line. Al Perez, Flyin Brian Pillman, and we are set. The bells rings, and Brian Pillman starts off really quickly. Body slam on Al Perez. Going for a quick cover, and it doesn't get a 1 count. And Brian Pillman, a high flyer here in the National Wrestling Alliance. Beautiful spine breaker. Spine buster, breaker. And Gary Hart already making his presence felt, distracting Brian Pillman, allowing Al Perez to get back to his feet. And Al Perez with a belly-to-back suplex takes Brian Pillman over. Pillman able to escape through the bottom rope, catches breath, has some words for Al Perez. Oh, has some words for Gary Hart, who rams him into the turnbuckle post. How did the referee not see that? This match is still continuing. And Perez in control, but not after Gary Hart ran Brian Pillman's head into the post. And Pillman now able to get back, throws Perez into the steel stairs. And Pillman throwing Al Perez into the ringside. This match has taken place more outside the ring than inside the ring. You can't win the championship on the outside floor, and Pillman knows that now. Rolls him back in, goes for the cover. And fans, we have the time in the upper right-hand corner. A little over 7 minutes to go. And Pillman in control now on Al Perez. There comes a point when that time becomes the champion's friend. Pillman with a whip into the turnbuckle. And he's putting Al Perez up on the top rope. Oh, and Al Perez kicks him. But Brian Pillman nails a clothesline and takes Perez down. And Pillman with a bunch of hits on the back of the head of Perez. Snapmare takeover. And now a head scissors into an elbow in the head. And Pillman wearing down Al Perez. And now Pillman going up to that second turnbuckle. He's allowing Al Perez to get back to his feet. He has something in store for him. And a double axe handle. I don't think he quite caught that. Picks up Al Perez. And into the ropes goes Perez. And a beautiful spine buster by Brian Pillman. Working the leg now of Al Perez and drops his leg across. Now working the arm. He's working every part of Perez. It's a good move. You can't stand, you can't punch. And a beautiful drop kick by Pillman. And again, Gary Hart up on the apron. And Pillman having words with Gary Hart, allowing Perez to get back to his feet, but Pillman's, a big elbow by Perez takes Pillman down. A snapmare takeover by Perez, and now he has control. Side headlock. And Pillman trying to fight out of it. This is allowing Al Perez to catch his breath as Pillman has controlled most of this contest. And most of it on the outside floor. Pillman breaking up the headlock and a big right hand. Fireman takeover by Perez. And a beautiful drop kick by the Latin Heartthrob. Takes Pillman down. And a reversal by Pillman. And a clothesline takes Perez down. Just a little over 5 minutes left in the match, folks. And this is where it becomes the champion's advantage. Beautiful belly-to-belly suplex. And again, Gary Hart making his presence felt here in the title match. Just enough to allow his protege to get up and back to his feet. And Perez, 3 times now, being saved by his manager. And Pillman going for the cover. Could we have a new champion? 1. And a kick out at 1 by Perez. Pillman whips Perez into the turnbuckle. And he's setting him up. He's picking him up. Putting him up on that top turnbuckle. What does Pillman have in store? A big punch in the midsection. That's what. Perez falls over. Pillman up on that second turnbuckle. Drops the elbow. And he goes for the cover. Could that be it? 1, 2, and the kick out at 2. 4 minutes left in the match, folks. 4 minutes left in the contest. And Perez getting himself out of this predicament. And a right hand by Pillman, the second one. Sends Perez back into the turnbuckle. And there he is again. Pillman up on that second turnbuckle. Going to drop a fist, and he nails him with it. The ropes and turnbuckles are this man's friend. I'll tell you, he's a high flyer. Brian Pillman. Right hand after right hand. Snapmare takeover. And again, a head scissors with an elbow. Smashing the face of Al Perez. And how can we allow Gary Hart again to interfere in this contest? But he's doing it. And it allows Al Perez to get back to his feet. And there's 3 minutes left in this contest, folks. And Brian Pillman is busting Al Perez open. Going for the cover. Can we have a new champion? 1, 2, and a kick out by Perez. And Pillman doesn't know what to do with himself. He has been in control the majority of this contest. And if it wasn't for Gary Hart, that television title might be gone. A thunderous clothesline takes down Perez. And Pillman's now going outside of the ring. Not quite sure what this is about. He's going to go up to the top rope. He's allowing Perez to get back to his feet. And drops the hammer. Takes down Perez. He's going for the cover. And he was too close to the ropes. Perez put his foot on the rope. And Pillman clamoring to the fans, but you got to go for it, man. There is just over 2 minutes left in this contest. 2 minutes. And a hip toss by Perez takes Pillman down. Perez busted open. Might have a hard time seeing with that blood running down his face. And there it is, the step over toe hold. He has beaten many a competitor with his finishing maneuver. And Pillman, screaming in pain, does not give up. And a right hand by Perez and a sleeper hold. Can Pillman find his way out of it? There's a minute and a half left. And Perez has a sleeper hold on Pillman. And Pillman reverses it. Drops down to the mat, smashing his head into Perez's face. Right hand, another right hand forearm. Pillman was Perez into the ropes. Spine buster. A minute and 10 seconds left. A minute and 10 seconds in the contest. And Pillman drops an elbow, and again, Gary Hart up on the apron, distracting the referee. Pillman goes for an elbow off the second turnbuckle, misses it. And Perez with a kick to the side. Pillman, Perez going at it. We have 50 seconds left in the match, folks. And Pillman going on top. Again to the top turnbuckle. 40 seconds left. Pillman nails a flying crossbody, goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Perez. 30 seconds left. Pillman going on top again. 20 seconds left. And he nails a flying elbow, goes for the cover. 1, 2, 3. We have a new National Wrestling Alliance Television Champion of Flyin, Brian Pillman. And man, he needed all of that 10 minutes to get it done. Here are some replays from earlier in the contest. And Gary Hart, I thought, was going to help Al Perez retain for all the times that he interfered in this contest on behalf of the Latin heartthrob. But Brian Pillman, there was a high-fly crossbody. That's his finishing maneuver. Nails it with 20 seconds or so left in the contest. And Perez able to kick out, and I thought that was going to mean a retain of the championship. But Pillman comes back and nails an elbow off the top rope and pins him with about 10 seconds left in the contest. And ladies and gentlemen, your new NWA Television Champion, Flyin Brian Pillman. We will be right back after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere, fans. Fans, what a way to start off the Clash of the Champions. A new World Television Champion crowned in Flyin Brian Pillman. And please don't go anywhere. We have many more matches coming up after this quick commercial break. Then fans, we are back with more Clash of the Champions. Our next contest is for the United States Tag Team Championship as it pits the Rock and Roll Express going up against the Midnight Express, the United States Tag Team Champions. Now this contest will be contested in Tornado Tag rules. So all 4 men in the ring at the same time, and the referee's going to have his hands full with all these high flyers in the ring. And there they are, the challengers, Ricky and Robert, the Rock and Roll Express. And making their way to the ring. Fans, we've already had one title change this evening in Flyin Brian becoming the new television champion. Can we have the Rock and Roll Express adding some gold to their waists? We'll find out as the champions begin to make their way to the ring. Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan, the Midnight Express, they are the current United States Tag Team Champions. And conspicuous by his absence is one James E. Cornette. Now, if you were watching our show, you know that him and J.J. Dillon have had some recent words. Nothing that has gotten physical as of yet. But one would think that Jim Cornette would be here to watch his charges defend their championships. And the referee checking all of the contestants here. And the announcer announcing there they are the Rock and Roll Express of Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson. And their opponents, the United States Tag Team Champions. On the right, Beautiful Bobby. On the left, Sweet Stan. They are collectively known as the Midnight Express. And these two teams are no strangers to each other. Battling for years, trading championships all over the country. And this one's going to be hard to call, folks, so bear with me. As we have Stan Lane going at it with Ricky Morton and Bobby Eaton with Robert Gibson. And Eaton goes out to the floor, and Gibson follows with a big clothesline. Eaton takes Gibson down. In the ring, Morton in control over Stan Lane, stomping away. And a shoulder breaker on the outside floor. Beautiful Bobby on Robert Gibson. And Ricky Morton going up to that second turnbuckle has Lane prone on the mat. Now allowing Lane to get back to his feet. And he nails him with a double axe handle. And Bobby Eaton whipped into the guardrail. And fans, there's so much action to call here. And Bobby Eaton ramming Gibson's head into the guardrail. Inverted atomic drop on the floor. Swinging neckbreaker by Ricky Morton on Lane. And here comes Bobby Eaton. And a big clothesline from behind. Morton did not see it. And now Eaton stomping away on Ricky Morton, allowing Stan Lane to get his composure. And here comes Robert Gibson sliding back in. Going over and clotheslines Lane over the top rope. That is not a disqualification. And Eaton whipping Morton into the ropes. A scoop and a backbreaker. And now Bobby Eaton allowing Morton to get back to his feet while Robert Gibson has Stan Lane on the outside. Drops a knee. And Gibson has Lane up. And a slam onto a table. And Lane falls down his back, holding it and grimacing in pain. Morton has Eaton in the ring. A fireman's carry takes Eaton down. And now a headlock, an elbow into the head. And Gibson throws Lane into the ring. He knows he can't win the titles on the outside. And now Eaton and Morton go on the outside floor, allowing Gibson and Lane to have the ring to themselves. And Bobby Eaton with a sledgehammer. Referee didn't see that. Nails Ricky Morton with a sledgehammer. And a shoulder breaker. Gibson in the ring had a 2 count on Eaton. And Bobby Eaton noticed it too late, came in, takes Gibson down with a clothesline, but we almost had new United States Tag Team Champions. And a reversal sends Eaton over the top rope. And Gibson's going to suplex him back in. A scoop slam of Owen, a guillotine by Lane on Morton. So much to call here, folks. Snapmare takeover by Gibson. And now he's working the head of Eaton. And Lane with a big clothesline. I don't think at any point during this contest have both members of each respective teams been in control. And Gibson has Eaton up with a big backbreaker. And Morton going up to the top rope has Stan Lane on the outside floor. Drops a fist off the top rope to the concrete floor. Are you kidding me? And now, as I say that, both members of the Rock and Roll Express are in control. And I spoke too soon. A Scorpion Death Drop by Eaton. And Eaton has Gibson reeling. Morton throws Lane back into the ring. And Eaton has Gibson up. And a brainbuster takes Gibson down. Morton going for the cover on Lane. And Eaton able to break it up. And now Eaton going for the cover. And Morton breaks it up. So much action to call here, fans. And Eaton with a snap suplex on Gibson. Morton going up to that second turnbuckle. Targeting Lane. Eaton going up on the top rope. Double axe handle by Morton. A missed elbow drop by Eaton. And that could be the doorway that gives Gibson a chance to take the title. Gibson with a side headlock. Working the neck now of Eaton. And Morton with a guillotine on Stan Lane. Gibson go for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Bobby Eaton. And now Morton has Lane again. Going for the cover himself. Could we have new champions? 1, 2, and a kick out by Lane. And Rock and Roll, a big shoulder block by Eaton. And now where's Bobby going up again to the top turnbuckle? He has Gibson down. And changes his mind, comes down. And a big forearm smash in the back. A scoop slam by Morton. Eaton working the arm of Gibson. Inverted atomic drop. Eaton has Gibson down. Now Stan Lane racking back on Morton. Front face lock by Eaton and a rake of the eyes. The referee didn't see it. Eaton with a schoolboy. Going for the cover. 1, 2, and 3. And the Midnight Express have retained the United States Tag Team Championship. The referee did not see it, but Bobby Eaton raked the eyes. Rolled up Gibson from behind, had a handful of trunks, and is able to get the pinfall on Robert Gibson. And this contest was back and forth, but the Midnight Express retain the United States Tag Team Championship. And I'm sure that Ricky and Robert will get their rematch somewhere down the road. They kind of got screwed here because a rake of the eyes, and the referee did not see it. He was watching Ricky Morton and Stan Lane. And let's see if we'll get a replay of that rake of the eyes, which caused the match. There it is, right there. Eaton rakes the eyes. Gibson can't see. Rolls up Gibson from behind. Handful of trunks. See if we get another angle. There it is. A handful of tights by Bobby Eaton, and that secures the victory. And maybe they didn't need Jim Cornette at ringside. They were able to retain the United States Tag Team Championship all on their own. Fans, we have many more matches coming your way, including the NWA Tag Team Championship, the big no-holds-barred match between Dusty Rhodes and Kevin Sullivan, and, of course, the big one, 2 out of 3 falls for the World Heavyweight Championship. Your winners, ladies and gentlemen, Beautiful Bobby and Sweet Stan, the Midnight Express, still your United States Tag Team Champions. We'll be right back after this quick timeout. And fans, our next contest is Sting challenging Larry Zbyszko for the Western States Heritage title. Sting already in the ring. Live TV, folks. And making his way to the ring is Larry Zbyszko with his manager Gary Hart, who already earlier this evening had one championship taken from his family as Al Perez was defeated by Flyin Brian Pillman. And now Sting looking to take the Western States Heritage title from Larry Zbyszko. So Gary Hart's family could be walking into this Clash of Champions event with 2 titles and walk out with none. And the introductions are being made. And Gary Hart, during that commercial break, was interviewed by Bob Caudle in the back dressing room and said he will guarantee that Zbyszko will not lose the Western States Heritage title tonight. And Sting going for a sleeper hold early in this contest. And I do not know what Gary Hart meant by that, but he said he guarantees that Zbyszko will walk out still champion. And now Zbyszko has Sting into the ropes, and a big shoulder block takes Sting down. And with moves like that, it's easy for Gary Hart to say Zbyszko will still be champion. An inverted atomic drop on Sting. And Larry Zbyszko in firm control in the early going of this contest. But I don't know, if Gary Hart guarantees something, there must be something up his sleeve. And Zbyszko now working the neck area of Sting. Sting trying to fight out of it, and he does. Sweeps the leg, and Zbyszko goes down. And Sting clamoring to the fans with a side suplex. Takes Zbyszko down to the mat. And Sting up and down with an atomic drop, and that'll hurt the spine of Zbyszko. Now working the arm of Zbyszko. And Sting now taking control. And Gary Hart shouting instruction for Zbyszko to get out. He said, get out of the ring. Up for a suplex, and Sting carrying the weight of 250 pounds of Larry Zbyszko. And flexing and down with a suplex. Sting calling to the crowd again. Zbyszko rolls out. Sting's following him. An elbow. Zbyszko fighting it off. And a big axe handle takes Sting down to the ground. There is no protective matting, folks. It is concrete floor. And Zbyszko now wrenching the neck of the Stinger. And Gary Hart saying, stay outside. He wants the count out. Gary Hart said it. And a kick to the stomach and a DDT. And Zbyszko's hurting. Sting trying to get Larry Zbyszko back into the ring. And he whips him into the turnbuckle post. Sting back in the ring. Gary Hart saying, stay out here, get counted out. And Zbyszko doesn't know where he is. Gary Hart trying to talk Zbyszko into staying outside and get counted out. Zbyszko rolls back in. Now listening to Gary Hart's orders. Throws Sting over the top rope, not a disqualification. But Gary Hart trips him, and that is. The referee's calling for the bell. Gary Hart got Larry Zbyszko disqualified. So he's right, he is. Larry Zbyszko still walking out Western States champion. Fans, we're going to take a quick commercial break. I can't believe it. And wait a second, go back to the ring. Sting has Zbyszko up with a gorilla press slam and down. Zbyszko got slammed by Sting, and Sting now calling to the fans again. The match is over. But Sting not done with Zbyszko yet. Whips Zbyszko into the turnbuckle. And a Stinger splash. And Sting, even though he loses this matter, he wins it by countout disqualification. Go for the Scorpion Deathlock. And he has him, and Zbyszko's tapping, but doesn't do any good right now. And folks, there's your winner by disqualification, the Stinger. We'll be right back into this quick commercial break. And fans, the next contest of Clash of the Champions will be the no-holds-barred Bunkhouse Stampede match between the Games Master Kevin Sullivan and the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. And there is no love lost between these two gentlemen, I can tell you that for sure. Now, in recent weeks, the Varsity Club, whether it be Kevin Sullivan, Mike Rotunda, or Steve Dr. Death Williams, have been chasing the United States champion in the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and none of them have been able to take that title away from the Dream. And then one day in Baltimore, Maryland, all three of them attacked the Dream. And that, of course, led up to this contest here at Clash of the Champions. And there he is, the United States champion, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And as you can see, these guys are wearing jeans and t-shirt. This is not a wrestling match, folks. This is a straight-up fight. There is no count-out, no disqualification. One pinfall to a finish, and there goes the bell, and the Dream goes at and charges. Kevin Sullivan stomping away. You can tell it's personal. Kick to the midsection and a chop. A throat punch and punches galore to Kevin Sullivan. A big elbow. And Sullivan's reeling early in the contest. Goes for a hip toss and finally gets him over. And the Games Master in trouble, the American Dream. Wait a second, Sullivan has a headlock and a punch to the face. Sends the Dream reeling. And another punch by the Dream and an elbow by the Dream. And Dusty charges into the corner and Sullivan goes down. And the Dream has him in a headlock and a bulldog. And Sullivan's down. Now the Dream working the neck of Kevin Sullivan. Really coming down hard. Throwing him down to the mat. And the Dream off the ropes. The referee gets knocked down. I guess that's okay. There's no disqualification to the Dream with another bulldog on Sullivan. And a snapmare takeover by Sullivan, finally getting some kind of control in this matchup. It's been all Dream thus far. And now the Dream looking to get out of it, punches to the midsection, gets out of that headlock, and an inside cradle. Referee in position 1, 2, and Sullivan kicks out. One would think an inside cradle would not be how this anything goes, no holds barred match would end. But I guess we've seen stranger things this evening. And Sullivan knocks out the Dream to the floor. And now Kevin Sullivan chasing him. And I think this is a little bit more of what we expected out on the concrete floor. The Dream with a gorilla press slam, down goes Sullivan. And the fans are in a frenzy here in Greensboro. And the Dream picks up Sullivan, jabbing away, and they're bionic elbow. This is not a pinfalls count anywhere match. He will need to roll Kevin Sullivan back in the ring if he chooses to win the match at this time. Inverted atomic drop by the Dream. And now Dusty going for a chair. This is more like it. He wants revenge for that 3-on-1 attack. And the Dream grabbing Sullivan and throws him into the ring where that steel chair is waiting. Now the Dream going into that chair, or not. He is picking it up, and Sullivan whips him into the ropes. And an inverted atomic drop by Sullivan. And that changes plans that Dusty had with that chair, but Dusty fighting back. Punch in the midsection, now an elbow to the back of the head. And Sullivan ramming Dusty's head to his knee. And Sullivan getting control in this matchup. Jabbing away with 2 rights. And a big right. And an elbow to the back of the head. And Dusty reversing with an arm drag takeover. And another punch and a bionic elbow in the ring. That's the second bionic elbow in this matchup, folks. And another bulldog by the Dream. And Sullivan's in trouble. And now Dusty's going for that chair. Well, wait a second, he has other plans. What's he doing? And he has a baseball bat. Well, ask Jim Crockett how that baseball bat feels. Dusty back in the ring with a chair. And wait, Sullivan gets a chair out of his hands with another elbow by the Dream. And now he has a chair. And the fans are going crazy. The Dream waiting for Kevin Sullivan to get back to his feet. He says, forget it. He whacks him in the head. Again, a second time. Across the back, across the chest. And one more time across the back. And the Dream has a measure of revenge. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Sullivan. The Dream wanted revenge because it was the 3-on-1 attack with a chair in Baltimore that put him in this match. And again, 2 more strikes, 3 more strikes across the back. 1 more across the chest. That has to be it. And another bionic elbow. The Dream has Sullivan down. Goes for the cover, and that should be it. 1, 2, and 3. And your winner, fans, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, gets a measure of revenge against the Games Master, Kevin Sullivan. And it took 8 chair shots by the Dream to take down Kevin Sullivan, but that's what he wanted here. A bunkhouse match with no rules. And whack it away on Kevin Sullivan. Fans, your winner, the United States champion in this non-title matchup, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And we're going to take a commercial break. We have the World Tag Team Championship match coming up next. It's the Horsemen versus champions Luger and Windham. We'll be back after this quick timeout. And fans, our next contest is the NWA World Tag Team Championship match, a first here in the NWA, as it is a first blood tag team elimination match. Now, the reason for this match has been in recent weeks. Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson have been wrestling Lex Luger and Barry Windham across the country, and Luger and Windham have been able to retain the World Tag Team Championship, but on 3 separate occasions. Once in Cleveland, Ohio, the other time in Philadelphia, and the second time at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. The Horsemen members of Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard bloodied up Luger and Windham after the match, getting steel chairs and baseball bats and sledgehammers, and taking it to Luger and Windham after the match was over. So Barry and Lex, in an attempt to get even, went to the NWA Board of Directors and asked for a match that would be no holds barred. Well, James J. Dillon refused that idea. He said he did not want to put his men in that jeopardy and did not want them to be permanently injured. So we instead came up with a concept of a first blood match. And this way, both members of the team have to be bloodied up to be eliminated. So think of it as a 2 out of 3 falls match, but first blood. So I, as a traditionalist, I am not a fan of these types of stipulations. I prefer a 1, 2, 3 count, a 2 out of 3 falls, a steel cage if feuds have gone that far. However, all 4 men agreed to this match. And here we are on TBS airing it for you live. The World Tag Team Championship in a first blood elimination tag team match. And the ring announcer, of course, making the introductions. And there they are, being led to the ring by their manager, James J. Dillon. From Amarillo, Texas, Tully Blanchard. And his tag team partner from Minneapolis, Minnesota, AA, Arn Anderson. And their opponents are, in fact, the NWA World Tag Team Champions. First, from Chicago, Illinois. He weighs in tonight at 280 pounds. He is the total package, Lex Luger. And his tag team partner from Sweetwater, Texas, Barry Windham. And fans, the tag team champions have their sights on the Horsemen, not letting them out of their sights since they entered the ring. But again, I do not like stipulations where champions can lose the titles without being pinned. It is something that I guess I'll have to get used to with the ever-changing ways of professional wrestling. But we are set to go, and the referee calls for the bell. And all four men in the ring at the same time. This is a tornado-style match. And Luger pairing off with Tully Blanchard, and Windham follows Anderson out to the floor, and Anderson stomping away on Barry Windham. Got Luger in the ring with Tully, and Windham on the floor with double A. And armed with a suplex down on the concrete floor. And I know he's not busted open. I thought that would have done it right there. And stomping away is Anderson on Windham, and now Windham with a front headlock. And he has Arn, and Luger has Tully in the ring. Big knee to the head by Luger. Takes Tully Blanchard down. You will see a lot of headshots, whether it be punches, kicks, knees, another knee by Luger on the Blanchard. No blood as of yet. Now, obviously, blood can happen anywhere. Arms, legs, there can be all kinds of contusions. Doesn't have to be on the head, but the foreheads of all four of these wrestlers are more, sensitive to blood because of all the beatings they've been giving each other over the last several weeks. And Arn Anderson working that arm, slamming it down the concrete floor. I think this contest needs more than one referee, especially with Texas Tornado-style rules. And a snake eyes on the top rope, and Luger has Blanchard. Again, a lot of these headshots. Luger going up top and drops the elbow across the head of Tully Blanchard. And a belly-to-back suplex by Arn Anderson on Barry Windham on the floor. Now, Anderson going for a weapon. And maybe he can't find one because the American Dream used a chair earlier tonight. There was a steel chair and a baseball bat underneath the ring earlier this evening. Both seem to have been gone. And now, wait a second, Double A finds a chair on the outside. And Luger raking the eyes of Tully Blanchard. And a big steel chair shot on Barry Windham. I can't tell if he's been busted open or not. And now Double A slides in the ring. And one for Luger. He barely got him, but he got him. And now Blanchard hammering away. Windham into the ring, a powerbomb style maneuver on top of the chair. And now Tully going to work on Luger again. All these punches and fists to the head. Anderson with that chair, and Barry Windham gets struck. Luger flexing, but Anderson hits him in the back with the chair. And again across the arm. And Luger and Blanchard in control at the moment. Another chair shot on Luger. Luger's covering his face. I can't tell if he's been busted open or not. Windham slowly getting back to his feet. This is absolute chaos, folks. All four men doing absolute carnage to each other. And a Russian leg sweep by Windham. And now Windham punching away on Anderson. Anderson holding his head. No, he's not busted open yet. What a contest, folks. This is exciting, I must say. A steel chair across the knee and a big elbow by Anderson. Blanchard working on Luger. Working the leg. And snaps it back. Anderson has that chair again. He's like stalking his prey, waiting for Windham to get back up to his feet. Blanchard pulls up Luger to his feet. Front face lock and a suplex and a chair shot on Windham. Again, Windham holding his head. Tully again looking for a chair, but he'll find nothing under there. Arn Anderson, oh, we got a ladder instead. Maybe Arn didn't look deep enough. What's he doing with the ladder? And a backbreaker by Anderson on Windham. Luger. What is Luger doing going up to the top rope? And he jumps and he splashes on Tully Blanchard. What a maneuver. And Luger picking up Tully with a knee to the head. I cannot tell if anybody's bleeding. The referee is in there. He's checking. And Anderson's spinebuster on Barry Windham takes him down, but again, there's no pinfalls. It's first blood 2 times. And now Anderson with a DDT. And there he is. He busted him open. He busted open Barry Windham. And now it's going to be 2-on-1. It's going to be Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard against Lex Luger. And Luger going to town on Tully, trying to get him busted open. I don't know if he realizes that Barry's been cut open or not. And Arn Anderson picking him up, body slam, backbreaker on the floor. And a suplex on top of the ladder. Oh, that has to hurt your back. And Windham slowly getting to his feet. And Anderson grabbing that chair. Working that chair on the back of Lex Luger. And now Tully working the ladder on Luger. Luger is in trouble. And a big chair shot by Anderson. He's not bleeding yet. No, he's not bleeding yet. Another chair shot. Oh, and Anderson hits his partner. That was obviously a mistake. Anderson hit Tully, and Tully is he busted open. I can't see. I don't think the referee can see. Is Tully busted open? Anderson working the chair on Luger. Anderson going over to, okay, Tully's okay, he says. Oh my, fans, that would have been, can you imagine your own tag team partner hitting you over the head with a chair, busting you open in a first blood match? And a suplex on the card. And Anderson in the ring with a chair. Goes back outside, goes back in with a chair. I don't know what Anderson's doing. Tully has Luger up. And rammed against the ring post. The referee checking for blood. There's nothing yet. And Anderson whacking away still with the chair. A knee. And still no blood, Luger. No blood. And then again, another chair shot by Anderson. And a choke by Blanchard. Luger's in trouble. I think the World Tag Team Championship could be slipping away. A chair shot, and there it is. He busted him open. He busted open Luger. And the Horsemen are going to win it. In this double elimination first blood match, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, I guess they had the advantage in their recent attacks where they bloodied Luger and Windham after the contest. Maybe that scar tissue was not very strong. But fans, your winners and new NWA World Tag Team Champions, the Horsemen, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. And folks, I think that's a travesty. I would have to imagine that the Championship Committee will give Luger and Windham an immediate rematch with standard rules. But for right now, your winners and new tag team champions, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. Folks, we have the main event coming up next. We will be back after this last commercial break. And folks, it is time for the main event. 2 out of 3 falls for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And there is the challenger, the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. He has gained several pinfall victories over the Nature Boy in tag team action. Today, at Clash of the Champions, he gets his chance. And not only does he have to beat Nature Boy once, he has to beat him twice. And that is one tough task. The Nature Boy said in an interview last week on World Championship Wrestling, he has beaten the best. He has beaten the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. He has beaten Harley Race, Kerry Von Erich, Ricky Steamboat. He named all of the people. And he said he's going to add Nikita Koloff to that list. He said the Russian Nightmare, it's a dream that he'll ever hold that championship. So Nature Boy making his way to the ring. J.J. Dillon close behind. And the Four Horsemen already gained some championship gold earlier this evening when Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson regained the NWA World Tag Team Championship. And folks, settle down at home because this is going to be the big one. And the bell's ring and we are set to go here. And Nature Boy has Nikita up in the suplex and Nikita reverses it. And a pick up and a body slam down goes Nature Boy. And Nikita is fired up, letting the fans here in Greensboro know. And a backdrop by the Nature Boy. Maybe he's a little too excited. And Nikita getting stomped away by the Nature Boy. In control, the early going up, and the reversal over the top rope goes Nature Boy, and down to the floor goes Flair. And Nikita's following him outside. And a right hand, another right hand. A flurry of rights and a clothesline takes Flair down. And I don't think this is how the Nature Boy wanted this match to go. They're out in the hole and a flip over the guardrail. Nature Boy in trouble. And Nikita with another body slam on the concrete floor. Nature Boy broke his back in that 1975 airplane crash and a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. And Nikita knows the weakness. He's going for that back. And Nikita rips him again into the guardrail. And Flair's in a world of trouble. A body slam again on the concrete floor. Nikita, he's targeting that back. Flair with a rake in the eyes throws Nikita back in the ring and chopping away at Nikita. And into the top turnbuckle goes Nikita. He blocks it and rams Nature Boy's head into the top turnbuckle. And a big forearm to the back of the head. An beautiful suplex by Nikita had a 1 count. Somehow there's a steel chair in the ring. That must have been slid in by JJ up on the apron. Speak of the devil. Already interfering in this matchup. A belly to back suplex by the Nature Boy takes Nikita Koloff down. And a right hand by Nikita. Whipping Nature Boy into the ropes. And a big clothesline. Takes Flair down, goes for the cover. And only a 1 count. And Nikita in control here right now. And Nikita picks up Nature Boy Ric Flair. And a belly-to-belly suplex. And Flair's down. Beautiful maneuver by Nikita Koloff. And the pace of the match has slowed down a little bit from the beginning. And Nature Boy throws Nikita off. Ooh, and a nice kick to the head by Nikita. And an inside cradle, going for the cover. Could it be 1, 2, and a kick out of 2. The ever-important first pinfall in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And Nikita having his way currently with the Nature Boy. Oh, and the roll board. 2, and a kick out by Nature Boy. And Nikita picks up for a body slam, and Nature Boy reverses it and drops him down. The Scorpion Death Drop. And stomping away on Nikita is the Nature Boy. And a snapmare takeover. And now the Nature Boy with a side headlock. And he has regained control of this match. Nikita fighting out of that headlock. Up to his knee. An elbow to the midsection. A second elbow breaks up the hold. And Nikita going up again. It looks like a suplex. And he nails it. That was more of a brainbuster type maneuver. And again, JJ distracting Nikita. It's going to allow Ric Flair from behind. The belly to back suplex takes Nikita down. And now stomping away on Nikita is Ric Flair, who has him in some type of submission maneuver, choking back with his knee to Nikita's back. Nikita's able to get out of it. Picks up Ric Flair. And a beautiful maneuver down, flapjack style. Goes for the cover. Could it be the first pinfall? 1, 2, and a kick out of 2. And that was close. And now Nikita elbowing away on the forehead of the Nature Boy. Working the arm. Nikita runs. Misses the stomp, but does not miss the forearm. And that takes Nature Boy down. Nikita going to the second turnbuckle. Telling the Nature Boy to get to his feet. And a double axe handle misses. Nature Boy gets out of the way. And over the top rope goes Flair. And now going out to the floor to chase him is Nikita. And there's more action outside the ring here. Nikita throws Flair right into the guardrail. Punching away now. The Nature Boy is in trouble. He's been spending a lot of this time on the outside floor getting the best. And a belly to belly on the floor. And again into the guardrail goes the Nature Boy. Nikita having his way, but Flair coming back. And throws Nikita into the stairs. And that took a lot out of Nikita. And now the Nature Boy in control. Picks up Koloff. Single leg takedown to work in the knee. And stomping away on Nikita is the Nature Boy. Again, a stomp. It is the very important first pinfall of the 2 out of 3 contest. It's going to be huge who has that early advantage. And back in the ring they go. And Ric Flair waiting for Nikita to get up. Throws him into the turnbuckle face first. And now Flair has him and then knee to the midsection. And now Flair going to the second turnbuckle. And he hits an elbow drop. That's something you don't see every day from the Nature Boy. And a knee to the head. That is something you see every day. Goes for the pinfall. Flair has him 1, and the count is 1. And this has been a very even contest, back and forth thus far in the early going. And Flair takes him down. He's going for the figure 4. Nikita's trying to fight out of it, trying to get to the ropes. And he's close. He's close to the ropes. He makes it to the ropes. And the referee makes Nature Boy break the hold. Flair picking up Nikita. Already had him in the figure 4. Now kicking away, knocks Nikita back down to the mat. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and the kick out at 2. And Flair now in control, looking for that first pinfall. Picks up Nikita. And a guillotine over the top rope drops Nikita back to the mat. And now Flair choking out Nikita. As we're on live TV, we may have to take a commercial break soon. We're going to try and hold on. Nikita reverses. So fans, if we do go out, an overhead suplex. If we do go out, we will be right back in. JJ up in the apron again. Distracting Nikita. Allowing Flair once again to get back to his feet. Flair whips Nikita into the turnbuckle. And he's picking Nikita up. Oh, what's he doing here? He's setting him up. It could be a superplex maneuver. Flair has Nikita up. It's going to be a superplex, and he nails it. My God, the crowd is going crazy here. Flair rolls over Nikita. Could this be the first fall? 1, 2, and 3. And there's the first pinfall. Goes to the Nature Boy, the champion, but Nikita with a kick. There is no rest. There is no break. And Nikita with an elbow off the ropes. Flair with an elbow of his own. Shoulder block takedown on Nikita. He goes out, fans. Again, this is live TV. We need to take a quick commercial break. We're going to stay with the action. If anything happens, the cameras are rolling. We will be sure. If anything happens, we will definitely fill you in. But we need to take a quick commercial break. Flair into the guardrail. We're going to keep calling it until we go. Nikita follows up and rams him into the guardrail again. Fans, we are taking a break. We'll be right back into this quick commercial timeout. And we are back, fans. It has been on Nikita since the commercial break. Plants Ric Flair with a DDT. And a kick and a punch. And another punch takes Flair down. It has been on Nikita, trying to desperately tie this match at 1 in this 2 out of 3 falls match. And not only that, but television time remaining. We have been told there's only about 10 minutes left in the match. So this has to favor the Nature Boy, having already a 1-0 lead. And Nikita picks up Flair and a forearm smash to the head. Whips Flair into the top turnbuckle. And Flair fighting back with a right hand. And a drop toe hold takes Nikita down. A knee to the back and Nikita's reeling. Stomping away now on the arm of Nikita. And Flair has regained control in this matchup. Snapmare takeover. And a side headlock has Nikita down. Fans, this has been quite the back and forth contest. Ric Flair scored the first pinfall with a superplex. And then Nikita took control. And now Flair has it back. And now Nikita's fighting back. An evenly contested match here. And a big clothesline takes Flair down. Now Nikita regains control. Whoops Flair into the top turnbuckle face first. And now Nikita setting up Flair. He's setting him up. It could be a belly to back suplex. Off the top rope. And he hits it. This could be it. Both men are down. Nikita trying to roll over Flair for the pinfall. Could it be tied up? 1, 2, and a kick out of 2. The fans are going crazy here in Greensboro. Flair whips Nikita into the rope and a big elbow takes Nikita down. Nikita getting back to his feet. Flair taking a breather in the corner. Big hip toss by Nikita. Now Nikita telling Flair to get up. Could he be setting him up for that Russian sickle? Flair up against the ropes. Here comes Nikita, but a kick to the midsection. Flair has him up in a pile driver and spikes him down to the ground. And Flair has Nikita, but a reversal. And Nikita now working the arm of Flair. That's his arm that he chops with. Again on the arm, and a kick to the back. Kick to the midsection and a kick to the side. Another kick to the side. Nikita with a beautiful drop kick. And now James J up in the apron again. Allowing Flair to get back to his feet. And another belly to back. No, it's an atomic drop. And Flair picking up Nikita. And the snake eyes into the corner. And Nikita's down. Now Flair choking right in front of the referee. Come on. Flair having his way again. Oh, and another reversal by Nikita. Back and forth. This contest has been back and forth the entire time. Oh, I had to catch my breath, folks. It's been a great match thus far. Very even. A big right hand by Nikita. Another right hand. Sends Flair in. Off, and there's a sickle. He nails him with it. He could tie it up here, going for the cover. And JJ again up on the apron, getting the referee's attention. Flair's been counted out. JJ Dillon distracting the referee, and Flair could have been pinned twice now. He's been down for a 5 or 6 count. Finally, the referee away from JJ goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Flair that gave too much time. JJ Dillon's distraction worked. Now Nikita stopping the way. And a clothesline takes Flair down again. Now he knows the TV time is about 5 minutes left. He has to score pinfalls now to try and get this match not only tied but win. Belly to belly suplex takes Flair down. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, and a kick out by Flair. What a match, folks. This is a great match. 2 out of 3 falls. Clash of the Champions. Thank you for joining us. Picks up Flair and a big slam down to the mat. Goes for the cover again. 2, and he kicks out. Flair kicks out. And Nikita with rights and lefts throws Flair into the turnbuckle. Whips him in, and there's the sickle. He nails it. Can he go for the cover? 1, 2, and Flair with his hand on the rope, and the referee counts 3. Referee saying, "What are you doing? I had the hand on the rope." Nikita from behind. Referee's gonna count again. 1, 2, and 3. Fans, this is controversial. I don't believe it. But Nikita Koloff has won the World Heavyweight Championship. We're gonna need to see a replay here. This is earlier in the contest. Nikita with that belly to back off the top rope. But let's get back to what just happened. Here it is. Nikita whips him in. The Russian sickle takes Flair down. Flair gets his hand on the rope and the count of 2. Watch. The referee out of position does not see it. Counts 1. Counts 2. Flair with the hand on the ropes. Referee does not see it. Counts 3. And of course, there's no break. So Flair arguing with the referee. And then Nikita with the schoolboy from behind. And the referee counts 3 again. And fans, this match is full of controversy. We're gonna take another look. Here it is. Russian sickle nails him. And this is gonna tie it at 1. Goes for the cover. The referee's out of position. 1, 2, and Flair clearly has his hand on the ropes. Referee does not see it. Flair gets up, argues, and then Nikita rolls him from behind. Fans, the NWA Board of Directors is going to have their hands full with this one. But as it stands right now, we have a new World Heavyweight Champion, Nikita Koloff. Fans, we will see what happens next week on World Championship Wrestling. But there is your new Heavyweight Champion of the world, the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. Fans, thank you for tuning in to Clash of the Champions. We'll see you next week.